Oh, oh, oh. Om Shri Ganeshaya Namaha. Om Shri Saraswatyai Namaha. Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Samasta Jana Kalyane Niratam Karunamayam Namami Chinmayam Devam Sadgurum Brahma Vidvaram Sadgurum Brahma Vidvaram योऽन्तः प्रविश्य मम वाचम् मां प्रसुप्तां सञ्जीवयत्यखिलशक्तिधरस्वधाम्ना अन्यांश्च हस्तचरणश्रवणत्वगादीन् प्राणान्नमो भगवते पुरुषाय तुभ्यम् प्राणान्नमो भगवते पुरुषाय तुभ्यम् समचरणसरोजम् सान्द्रनीलाम्बुदाभम् जघननिहितपाणिम् मण्डनं मण्डनानाम् तरुणतुलसीमालां कन्धरं कञ्जनेत्रं सदयधवलहासं विठ्ठलं चिन्तयामि विठ्ठलं चिन्तयामि. Pranams to the Lord. Pranams to all the Mahatmas in tonight's Eknath Maharajji's Bhagavata. We are in chapter 19. We have completed 137 OVs. We start from 138. Over to you, Lataji.
Shaji, sorry for being 1 minute late.
No, it's okay.
OV 138. Now I will tell you the greatness of the king Yudhishthir, the Dharma. 139. He had no enemy in life anywhere. He was confident and spoke truth always. He was born by the spiritual power of the god Yama, given to his mother Kunti by a great sage. When Duryodhana asked him how to become as strong as steel in order to defeat all the Pandavas, he did not speak lie. 140. Yudhishthir was free of jealousy and was pure of heart. He asked a question to Bhishma. 141. Bhishma was of a steady mind and was very religious. He conducted his life according to the rules of the Vedas. He was bachelor for his lifetime. Great warriors respected him. 142. He fought with Parashuram but behaved with due respect with him. He did not accept the hand of the daughter of the Kashiraj because he was a bachelor as a vow for whole life. 143. Parashuram was his preceptor in archery, but he defeated him in a battle. The Guru Parashuram was so pleased that he gave his decorative ankle ring to Bhishma as an honor. 144. Parashuram was so pleased that he gave a boon to Bhishma that passion would never disturb him. 145. Bhishma gave his own youth to his father Shantanu and became himself very old. 146. Shantanu gave him a boon. O Bhishma, you are very intelligent. I bless you that even if you will be old, your strength will not be decreased, but you will be stronger and stronger. 147. Thus, the older he became, the better was his strength. Time could not affect him. 148. He had therefore worn the 3 anklets of time, Cupid, and Parashuram around his ankles. Therefore, the attribute, the greatest religious person, was very apt for him. 149. His vow was so firm that I had to give up my decision not to hold any weapon in the great war. 150. Without allowing any blot to his feeling of devotion towards me, he defeated technically myself and Arjuna and again came to pay his respects to me by bowing down at my feet. 151. Then, in order to abide by his own decision not to fight a eunuch, he kept down his weapons, and though the arrows of the opponent pierced his strategic weak points on the body, he did not lift his weapons. 152. By many wounds, his body became very weak, and he decided to die peacefully. 153. But when he saw that it was time of the sun in the southern hemisphere, which was not auspicious for a departing soul, he prevented time from touching him and postponed his departure. 154. Then he preferred to lie down on a bed of arrows vertically fixed on the ground and waited for right time. At that time, Yudhishthir asked him some questions, while there was good assembly of sages and warriors around him. 155. I am going to tell you some account of that episode for your information.
निवृत्ते भारते युद्धे सुहृन्निधन विफलः श्रुत्वा बहून् पश्चान् मोक्षधर्मान् पृच्छत.
Meaning of the verse, Yudhishthir, after the great war was over, became very sorry because of the death of his relatives and friends, and approaching Bhishma and having listened to many aspects of various important subjects, proceeded to ask questions about the path of liberation. 156. I tried to appease Duryodhana to avoid the war, and Vyasa also advised very strongly not to fight. But Duryodhana did not listen to our counsel and became eager to fight. 157. In short, as it was destined in the great war between Pandavas and Kauravas, the whole family of Duryodhana and other enemies of Pandavas were finished. 158. Dharmaraja became the king after the war, but he was affected by great sorrow for having killed his kith and kin, and because of the pride of his own physical body, he thought that he himself was the sinner in the whole world. 159. He expressed to me his pangs of sorrow for having killed his guru, who was a Brahmin, and also having killed Karna, Dushasana, and Duryodhana, and others. 160. Though it is the God who does everything to create, etc., the king Dharmaraja thought himself to be responsible actor and therefore a sinner. 161. Being caught in the notion of I am the body, he took upon his mind the burden of sin, burden of the sin of killing his relatives. 162. So, in order to free his mind from the unreal burden, I took him to see Bhishma and told him to ask his question to that great patriarch. Please listen to the questions which Dharma had asked the old sage Bhishma. 163. He asked about the duties of the king, the duty about the charity and the charitable acts. He asked him how to keep our morals intact even in the time of difficulty. He asked about the highest thing, that is, the duty on the spiritual path of liberation. Please listen to that moksha dharma.
तानहन्तेऽभिधास्यामि देवव्रतमुखाच्छ्रितान् ज्ञानवैराग्यविज्ञानश्रद्धा भक्त्युपबृंहितान्.
Meaning of the verse. I shall now tell you those teachings spoken by Devavrata to Yudhishthir, which are full of knowledge and practical experience, and they are endowed with faith and devotion. 164. I have listened to the teachings of the path of liberation given by the great Bhishma, which dissolve the illusion of the apparent world and burn all the bondage of karma. 165. Bhishma told to Dharma the knowledge, the practical experience, the faith and devotion, then the ephemeral nature of what appears and the pure state of desirelessness. I am going to tell you all that. 166. Bhishma is called Devavrata, which means he had put all his attention on God and had slept with ease on the bed of arrows. 167. He told mainly about the importance of self-knowledge on the path of liberation. Please listen. I am, as the Purushottama, going to tell you that.
नवैकादश पञ्चत्रीन् भावान् भूतेषु येन वै ईक्षेताथैकमप्येषु तज्ज्ञानं मम निश्चितम्.
Meaning of the verse. Knowledge is that power by which a man may see as one all the various principles counted as 9, 11, 5, 3, etc. in all the creation. 168. Prakriti, Purusha, Mahat, 5 tanmatras, subtle self-nature and ahankara form the 9 parts or principles. 169. What are called as 11 are the 11 senses, including the mind, and what are mentioned as 5 are the 5 elements of the earth, the water, etc. Then 3 are the 3 gunas, like sattva, rajas, and tamas. 170. All these make up to total 28. And all these are contained in everything in the right proportions. 171. Right from the Hiranyagarbha down to the little atom, all these principles exist equally. O Uddhava, nothing is short or surplus in any being. 172. Similarly, the Jiva principle is equally reflected in everything, and the name, the shape, and the sense of separateness are given by it only to all. 173. The reflection of the moon is the same in a pot, in a well, and in a big lake or ocean. Similarly, from the Brahmadeva to a little fly, the life principle or jiva is equally existent everywhere. 174. So, the understanding that the Atman is the same in all the beings is called jnana or knowledge in its pure state. 175. I shall tell you what Vijnana is, practical experience. That is told by the Lord in half of the verse. 176. The person actually perceives that all the principles like the physical body, etc., are completely filled by the absolute Brahman, which fact was only a description for him up to now. This is practical experience. 177. As the space occupies everything, both inside and out, so the spirit is occupying the whole creation. 178. Only such pure knowledge and its realization leads a man to reach the final goal. And as soon as the goal is reached, the knowledge also disappears. Again, this is the matter of actual vijnana. 179. Because it is understood by knowledge, it is called jnana. And when it is an actuality, when the state of the knower and the aim, pardon?
It
When
is
the
called Neya.
Onyeya, oh, okay, yeah. Okay, because it is understood by knowledge, it is called Nyeya. And when it is an actuality, when the state of the knower and the aim of knowledge become one, then the knowledge fights shy. It is like a firefly becoming invisible in the daylight. 180. The role of the knower is abandoned when the known is reached, just like salt being dissolved in water. 181. When the knowable is actually known, what remains is pure spirit, and therefore one which occupies and other which is occupied disappear, and nothing remains either to propound the aim or to deny the aim of knowledge. 182. Again, just as the moon and the stars fade out when the sun rises, the whole paraphernalia about knowledge is simply wiped out together with this world when that which is to be reached is accomplished. 183. So long as man is not having total direct experience of the knowable, he thinks that Atman and the world are different. And what he talks about, the experience, is only an empty talk. 184. Now, please consider again the verbal knowledge about Brahman is comprised of the 3 gunas, but the absolute Brahman is formless and without any gunas. It has neither birth nor death. 185. Whatever is made of 3 gunas is subject to destruction. The Lord Sri Krishna is now telling Uddhava about the things which are having form and destructible.
एतदेव हि विज्ञानं न तथैकेन येन यत् स्थित्युत्पत्त्यप्ययान् पश्येत् भावानां त्रिगुणात्मना.
Meaning of the verse: when a man no longer perceives, as he did earlier, the many as permeated by the one, Brahman, but sees that the one reality only, that alone is Vijnana. To be sure, for this, he has to ponder over the transitory nature of creation constituted of the 3 gunas. 186. If the world were not destructible, we would have taken the creation composed of the 3 gunas to be real. The 3 gunas themselves have a beginning, a life, and an end. 187. The beginning is due to Rajas. The existence, the duration of life is due to Sattva. And the end is due to Tamas. All these are natural for them. 188. Now, please take a note that the absolute Brahman is not absent in gunas. It is very much present, and the activities of the gunas is possible only because of that Brahman. But that Brahman is untouched by birth or death and is eternal. 189. The Lord here says that the Brahman, which is the base on which the gunas appear and function, is quite different from the gunas and independent.
आदावन्ते च मध्ये च सृज्यात् सृज्यं यदन्वियात् पुनस्तत्प्रतिसङ्क्रामे यच्छिष्येत् तदेव सत् यच्छिष्येत् तदेव सत्.
Meaning of the verse, only that should be considered as real, which is at the beginning as well as at the end of creation, and also in the middle remains unchanged, and which again abides as the residue in the process of return of the things to the original state. 190. That which is before the gunas come into existence and remains as such in the middle as well as the end of the gunas, and of course the whole creation, which remains as it is, unmodified and not destroyed. It is eternal and is considered by me as what is. That isness is such that the entire world is supported by it, filled by it, surrounded by it, and becomes perceptible by it. 192. The nature of the world is such that it comes into being and ends, but that principle that is Atman, and you should take it to be the real thing. 193. For example, the space which occupies a little pot or a room remains undisturbed though the pot or the room are not there. Similarly, the Atman or the absolute Brahman, whatever you may call it, remains though the universe begins or ends. 194. To take another example, the gold, which exists before an ornament is made from it, it is the same gold in the ornament, and the same gold remains as such, though the ornament is broken. It is not destroyed in the whole process. 195. Similarly, Brahman feels unbroken, undisturbed, unmodified while the creation takes place, or is unmanifest. It does not change even by a speck of dust. 196. How to recognize and what are the parameters of that Brahman, and how to decide that the apparent is unreal? There are 4 parameters.
Kriti pratyakshamaityam anumanan chatushkayam pramaneshvanavasthanat vikalpat savirajyate. Meaning
of the verse. Of the many means of cognition, Shruti, direct perception, tradition, and inference, these 4 are the most reliable standards. In the light of these, man finds that varieties of things are false and becomes disinterested in the outer world. Explanation. By applying these methods of testing the reality of the world, he becomes convinced that Brahman is real and other things are only an illusion. 197. The proof number 1 is Shruti. It is stated in Vedas, that is Shruti, that only Brahman alone is, without a second, and based on that Brahman, which is real, the world which appears is false. 198. The second proof is actual experience. We actually see that our body, as well as all other forms, have an end, and everything which is perceived is false. 199. The sages Markandeya and Bhushundi, who have tremendous life periods, have actually seen worlds after worlds coming into existence and being burnt into ashes. 200. They say that the worlds are subject to end. This is the third proof, which is the authentic statement of the great sages. This is the historic proof. 201. The appearance of the world is as false as mirage. It is not real. Scientists say this. 202. The rope appears to be a serpent, but it is false. The rope is real. The ice cube appears as such, but it is only water. 203. The Brahman is the only true existence. Some say it is void. Some say it has qualities or gunas. Some say that action and performing of duties are also false things. 204. When we see logic and inferences, we come to realize that the world's appearance is not real and Brahman is real. That this is the statement supported by Vedanta. 205. As in cloth, really everywhere there are threads only. So the world is not separate from Brahman. 206. As the world is unreal, as proved by all the four parameters, it is good for a man to be indifferent to the worldly things and concentrate on Brahman. 207. The Lord is now telling further how taking interest in this world as well as the heaven world is not good.
कर्मणां परिणामित्वात् आविरिञ्चादमङ्गलम् विपश्चिन्नश्वरं पश्येत् अद्रष्टुमपि दृष्टवत्.
Meaning of the verse. As all the rituals are transient, a wise man should look upon the invincible world, including the Satyaloka, as a place full of misery and perishable like the visible world. 208. Please understand that whatever heaven, including the world of Brahma, is attained by performance of rituals is surely temporary and therefore inauspicious. 209. The pleasure in the heaven is like a good food mixed with poison, which is sweet when we eat, but death is sure. Similarly, the man who reaches heaven is destined to fall back in the world. 210. Just as this visible world is temporary and perishable, the heaven world is also perishable. 211. Just as dogs, both black and white skinned, are equally dirty, so the pleasures here and in the heaven are destructible. 212. O Uddhava, the state of desirelessness is that in which a man is disinterested in this world, as also the higher worlds. 213. You have earlier asked me about the quality of devotion towards me. I am going to tell you about it with proper explanation.
Bhakti yoga puraivoktah priyamanaaya te nagha punascha kathayishyami madbhakteh karanam param.
Meaning of the verse. Oh, the innocent one, since you love me and I also love you, I will tell you the royal road of devotion through, though I have earlier told you about it. 214. Earlier, I have told you the importance of my devotion, but since you like to hear again, I am going to repeat it. 215. O Uddhava, you are having good merits. The man who loves me with real devotion is liked by me the best, because only through devotion my devotee reached the highest abode. 216. Eknath says, the Lord is voluntarily telling Uddhava all the details about the process of the development of devotion. The audience is requested to listen with full attention.
श्रद्धामृतकथायां मे शश्वन्मदनुकीर्तनं परिनिष्ठा च पूजायां स्तुतिभिः स्तवनं मम.
Meaning of the verse. Faith in hearing the sweet stories of my life, work, repeated exposition of them, intense devotion and liking for my worship and singing the songs of my praise. 217. When my nectar-like stories are heard with devotion, even the nectar itself seems tasteless and the man experiences great interest in my worship. 218. Gods enjoy the sweet nectar, but they have also to die in the long run. But those who partake of nectar of my sweet stories defeat even the death as time. 219. When they enjoy the sweet essence of my stories of my adventures, they, in the ecstasy of that bliss, destroy the death. The worldly affairs do not dare to touch them, and they run away. 220. Their mind gets absorbed in listening to my stories with devotion and sing songs depicting my stories with great feeling. 200.
Hariyo. We can pause over here. My God, what amazing this is.
Yes,
It was
yes.
like sweet, and I don't want to interrupt. And your reading was also so excellent. Please share your thoughts and understanding of what you have read.
I really don't know from where to begin. I mean, first we had how he tells Uddhava about the character of Bhishma, how, what kind of a person he was, and how the Lord had, to break his promise of not fighting the war. But actually, though he did it, it's actually a defeat. He didn't think that it was a victory for him or the Pandavas, because whatever he did was again, not what was supposed to have been done. And then, of course, he talks about Atman, which is real, I mean, Vedanta, the apparent and the real. And what is Jnana and Vijnana? We have had all those in Bhagavad Gita also. What is Jnana and Vijnana in the 7th chapter? So, I mean, there's so much, I don't know which part of it to take out and explain, that the thing about Jnanam, Nyayam, like all that, it comes here, the knowable, the known, when all becomes one. So, and then the examples that are given to make us understand, like how the stars and the moon can be seen at night, but when the sun shines, all of them become one. So, how the knowledge, the known, and the knower also eventually actually becomes one, and there's only Brahman at every point. And then how, I mean, we know it is unchangeable, it is eternal, not perishable, and everything, it is the substratum for all the gunas and, I mean, everything in the universe. And again, how that rituals, people who are ritualists, they do all these, are not, they may attain heaven, but again, it is not a very great thing, because only devotion, true devotion to Bhagwan actually gives you moksha, and you really don't need to do all these kind of rituals. And he speaks about how much devotion is the most important thing. And I was just thinking, in Narayaniam, isn't that Dashakam on devotion? Just now, what we are doing, I thought the title was on devotion.
Yes.
I
Yes.
not a coincidence that here Bhagwan also speaks about devotion, and that though we've done only 2 verses, but I was looking at the title and reading further.
Yes. And you
So,
wouldn't believe the Wednesday we have Bhagavad Gita class at 5:30. That's 8. And we are doing chapter 7 over there, which you just now mentioned.
other,
And,
yeah,
and next week we are finishing. Last some 6, 7, 8 verses are remaining. And same thing today we have done.
oh,
So it's just connecting
and
amazingly.
also the thing is, it's like the same thing coming again and again to, and so I mean, so Uddhava was lucky. He says, I've already told you all these before, but I'm telling you again. And because he loves him with real devotion. And yeah, I mean, there's so much more. So he says, whatever pleasures we enjoy here in the world and in heaven, they are all, I mean, it's only for a short period, they are perishable. So true, if you want to be, to be imperishable and accept that you are that, the Brahman itself, you are also that, the Atma, then you have to have the true devotion. I think that's that conviction and devotion.
Beautiful.
They are really beautiful.
Amazing. So again and again, that Rajju Sarpa we should not forget.
Yes,
Hmm.
yeah. Rajju.
When there is little knowledge, the knowledge is not ours, but we have heard somewhere. That's the point where the false notion becomes stronger. When there is little light and this rope is lying, you will see the snake. In a full light, you will see the rope as well. And when we are not having the experience and when we talk about it, it is hollow. When we have the experience, we'll not talk about it.
We'll not talk about it. Yeah.
So one is the Rajju Sarpa example they gave. Second example they gave of the gold and the ornament. That the gold is existing before also and after also. The ornament just got a name, whether you made a bangle or a necklace or a ring or a whatever. Third example was given of the ice and the water. Ice is nothing but that, water alone. And then this Tantu and the Patam example, the threads and the cloth. The cloth would be a shirt or a pajama or a sari or a blouse or a whatever, but it is basically the threads that are woven together. So if we will hold on to the examples, the clarity will come that what is Lord. So that's why when you said about the Narayanian thing, that the one who is doing Sarva Cheshta Tvadartham and seeing you into it,
Everywhere.
yes. So then it is Tvat Kshetra or Tvad Nishevade, everything. Then he is holding on to the Nirguna, then the knowledge will be his. But otherwise, in the world, you will hold the world, you will be seeing the plurality only. So, same thing, same note is going on. Excellent. Very well. I mean, so happy, we feel when we keep reading this, like, such a joy to read this. Amazing.
There was another example with salt and something. I thought I came.
Salt. So that is like the salt when it mixes, it dissolves with the water, what it is then.
Yeah.
So that was in the verse number 202.
Oh, 20. Somewhere I remember. Okay.
No, 202 is the ice cube
No,
example. Sorry, not 202. Over there only somewhere it is.
here only. I'm trying to find it also, but I'm not able to see where. Yeah, it was there also. It was interesting, that example also.
No, 180, 180.
180. Okay.
The role of the knower is abandoned when the known is reached, just like salt being dissolved in water.
Okay.
Even the ice cube example in 202.
Yeah.
Yeah. Amazing. Such lovely things. So these are the 4 parameters which explain from 197 onwards.
Yes.
And now he's gone on to the other aspect,
Yeah,
his stories and bhajanam, kirtanam, what. So that we will continue tomorrow, which Venkatesh ji will do from 2 to 1.
meters are very interesting. That.
Good. So let's do the closing prayers for today, and we meet again tomorrow and read it with much eagerness.
Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Harihi Om Shri Krishnarpanamastu.
Thank you, Lataji. Thank you, everyone, for joining. We'll join tomorrow again. Hari Om.
Hari Om. Hari Om. Hari Om.
Thank you, Varsha ji.
Thank you, Varsha ji.